Ladies and gentlemen, it has been one hell of a weekend, and it all culminates in this, the EGL Summoners Cup number 14 Grand Final between Team NumN0 and Team XU. My name is The Pash, and with me, casting here, will be a good friend and colleague of mine, Havgaz.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. It has been an incredible weekend so far. We just saw the best of three for the third place go over to Bananas and Tuxedos, our Summoners Cup number 12 winners. And we are getting very set for what should be an amazing best of three here between NumN0 and XU. It's going to be a good one.
It is going to be a good one indeed. I have just given the go sign to the player, so we should be getting into Champion Select fairly soon. There we go. NumN0 versus XU. It is going to be a best of three. And we're going to see who will come out on top and grab that 3,200 RP prize, plus a Triumphant Rise skin for every of their team members. I'm hyped. Are you hyped?
I'm super hyped. This is going to be incredible. And the bans are now starting to come out. We see a Vi ban being the first one coming out of NumN0, followed up by a Lucian. Two very strong meta bans. Lucian, super strong at the moment as an AD carry. Very able to take down towers easily, escape any situation. That passive of his, giving him that double auto attack after an ability, is just so incredibly good. And he's all round an amazing AD carry to have on a team. And Vi, everyone fears Assault and Battery coming towards their face.
Of course, that'll just punch through the front line directly into the back line onto a potentially very vulnerable target in that very moment. So it is a good thing to ban that out, and we do see a pattern here as a Shyvana is banned out as well, and her Dragon's Descent basically allows her to do exactly that as well. Fiddlesticks getting banned away by XU here. That is quite interesting. I have not seen a Fiddlesticks ban or pick in this tournament quite yet.
Yeah, the Fiddlesticks, it's a very unique one if you can actually play the support, but it's right in there with those Annie supports as well. Huge amount of CC available to them, and a lot of burst damage in that bot lane at around about that level 6 point. Something everyone's got to be really scared of. And I think it's definitely going as a tip of the hat towards the support coming out of NumN0. I remember in the semi-final game that NumN0 won against Bananas and Tuxedos, not against Bananas, sorry, against Infected, they banned out an Annie and a Fiddlesticks against him. There was a lot going towards the support from NumN0. And it looks like they're just giving him a lot of respect.
Alright, true. And respect we also see coming out of NumN0 as they ban away the Syndra. And that is a target ban to Chols. We have seen him ravage on that Syndra yesterday and today. He is very comfortable on that champion. So that ban really does not surprise me. NumN0 now picking up their first pick. It's going to be an Annie. Very contested pick in this tournament. We either see her picked or banned a lot, and it's not really a surprise. She is so strong in the support role right now.
Yeah, very strong. And the support player for NumN0 is a very aggressive support player. Really likes to get down and dirty and in the face of the enemy laners. And picking up that Annie or that Fiddlesticks are just two very comfortable picks for him. On the other side, the Vayne and the Thresh, that's the bot lane straight away locked in. Overall, very strong bot lane, hyper carry out of Vayne, good peel from Thresh, and Thresh as ever. I don't think I've seen Thresh be picked once and be bad in particular. Of course he's lost, but the ability to utilise all those mechanics at this sort of elo is just absolutely crucial to the team.
Yes, it is, and we do see them go for, with that Vayne, of course. It's safe to say that they're going for a late game composition because Vayne is, as we all probably know, a hyper carry that likes to shred faces after having farmed and hopefully killed a lot in the early stages of the game. We did see XU pick up the pick slash dive composition in their earlier semifinals versus Bananas and Tuxedos. That worked out quite well, so let's see if they can do the team fights too. Sejuani and Nasus getting picked up here for NumN0.
Yeah, more strong picks overall to go towards what looks to be a very heavy AoE composition from NumN0. Hovering over the Orianna now, it's a big tip towards that as well, and I think we'll be seeing some very staple AD carry with a little bit of AoE, and there's a Tristana, very slippery champion, Caitlyn as well, very similar on that. But a hypercarry of Cogmore could be interesting, and now they're just trolling me. Let's go to the 4 picks that are being covered over. It looks like they've got an AoE composition going on, and that Nasus is a very strong pick in this meta with the huge amount of defense that you can put into him, going 0-30-0 in that mastery tree. Amazing regeneration and lifesteal out of that, and very good as well at shutting down a Vayne. You get the Wither onto Vayne, and you do take away one of her strongest components, which is the Silver Bolts passive. Tristana now being locked in. Gyarados, please don't do this to me as well. Just take the Orianna. Make it easy for me. No. Ooh, yeah. I'll talk about that in a second. The Tristana, though, another tip towards a late-game team fighting composition. Definitely there to rival the Vayne's late-game potential. And, well, there's the Orianna pick, very nicely going down. And so, really, this is just NumN0 being ready for lots of team fighting and a very late and drawn-out game. They're really going for a Tier 1 sort of play level. And absolutely, XU are doing the same. Very high-tier picks here. Renekton and Aatrox very highly contested in picks. And now they're just trying to hover over this mid lane, and it's looking like it could be an AP Malphite mid. Can't call it yet, but you never know what they're going to put against the Orianna.
Yeah, AP Malphite mid would definitely be very interesting to see.
Absolutely, but there's also Kassadin available. Fizz is also open. Zed. I mean, these are all really good assassin champions to go against a squishy Orianna. Doesn't look like that's Avi's playstyle, though. It looks like Avi's going to be going for a caster, hovering between Morgana and Kennen right now. Kayle, an interesting pick. But again, another hyper carry late game, and it looks like it's going to be a Kayle locked in there to go against the Orianna. Bit of a slapping back and forth in the mid lane, but there's not going to be a huge amount of kills picked up there. Mostly, though, these teams are just tailored right now towards that late game, towards team fights. They're going to be looking, I think, for a lot of objectives. Diving a lot, actually, coming out of XU. You said before about the dive comp that they picked. They've got another one right here. Bloodwell passive from Aatrox, and of course the protection from Kayle's ultimate, giving you that, scaling length of invulnerability whilst diving a tower can just be so crucial. And that really looks like XU, it's their game plan. They want to put themselves in the driving seat. They want to be like, no, we're not going to be running away from anybody here. We're going to be going into you. And that's what they've tailored for with this team comp. Expect to see Guardian's Angel picked up, in my opinion.
Well, that may very well be the case. I am quite interested about that Renekton pickup here for Rin. We have seen her play that in our previous game as well, versus Bananas and Tuxedos, and he was really dominating that top lane. There's really nothing else to say about that. He was so strong in that Renekton, and it slipped through, and he did get his comfort pick, so that might be huge for XU. But, as you have said, NumN0 also coming in with a very strong composition right here. What do you think? Who will have to gain the early edge, and what if they fall behind? What might they do to get the lead back? Basically, what will be the main objectives of both of these teams in this game?
I really think it's just going to be how well they can control their rotations and objectives. Map control is very clunky in the early stages of Season 4 with the trinkets and then the ward limits that have been put in. And so really making sure there is a sufficient amount of vision around generally the bush areas, the entrances to jungles, to stop these two very gank-heavy junglers coming at you, and then making sure the dragon is safe. They're really going to be very crucial points towards tailoring how this game is going to go. I mean, both of these guys are going to be looking for the late game. I don't think there's going to be too many dives until around about level 6 for most of these champions, coming especially out of XU. But definitely going to be an objective-based game. Really, I would also expect maybe an invade to come out. I wouldn't be surprised to see a level 1. Both of these teams might look for it with the Annie stun capability, and then also the Thresh death sentence. But really, I'd say there'd be an invade from XU if anything. They have that aggression that they can put out, and there's the fear that MC Winegum's on this Tristana and JJMC's playing this Nasus, so they're pretty weak at level 1, despite the fact they have got that Annie stun. I wouldn't be surprised to see XU going for that. But, again, we might just see both the teams stepping off and saying, hey, let's just get a bit of farm. I'd rather fight you whenever I'm level 6, 7, 8, 9, whenever I've got my first items. Silver Bolts is maxed maybe on Vayne, or Tumble's maxed, that sort of thing. Whenever there's a dragon up the stake especially, or maybe a tower to look for.
Oh yeah, we need to keep in mind that this is a best of 3, and generally in best of threes, you do see you tend to see teams go for level 1 engages, for more cheesy plays, for plays that could go right and give them a huge advantage, but also could go wrong and possibly destroy the game for them. If that's the case, they can just try to come back in the next one and bring it to game 3. But being a game up in a series is definitely a good position to be in, because you can lose the next one without any repercussions, and if you win the next one, you win.
Of course, winning's always a good thing, really. You don't want to throw it away. No, I don't think... it would be interesting. We'll wait and see, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised if both these teams do just say, well, let's not throw nice and early, because, especially at this elo, if you make the mistake, that mistake can be the whole game for you. If you do get caught out going into the jungle badly, or if one person face checks and just gets completely bursted down, just things like that, those little mistakes that can happen really can just swing the game. We'll definitely see how these teams go, but as I say, Diven's going to be coming out from XU, and then both of these teams are really going to be looking for objectives. A lot of attrition will go onto that Dragon in particular.
Well, we will definitely see. Dragons are certainly a nice pickup. We got to keep in mind that they give more gold the later the game gets, so early Dragon control is good, but you can afford to give a dragon to your opponent if you plan on picking one up later on in the game. As it stands, we are on the loading screen, ladies and gentlemen. It is the EGL Summoners Cup number 14 Grand Final. It's going to be Game 1 between Team Numero Uno on the blue side and XU on the red side. And while we are on the loading screen, let me take some time to direct you at our Twitter question of the day, which is 2-1-2 laning setup without a jungler. Do you think it's viable or not? Send us over your thoughts in 140 characters or less. Tweet at EGL, hashtag EGLLOL, and we will hopefully be reading some of your responses on air later on in the broadcast.
It's a unique sort of style. It doesn't look like either of these teams are going for a 2-1-2. They're much more going towards the standard setup as it's generally known, with a 1-1-2 and a jungler. They've both got smites on the team. They're both ready for it. They've got very typical jungling characters with good clear speed and ganking capabilities. It certainly seems like that's going to be it. But hey, the meta can change. It can fly, and anything can happen in the League of Legends.
That is why we love this game so much, isn't it? Always exciting to the very end. I mean, apart from a 20,000 gold lead, because I think that might be a time to call the game. But hey, we have seen comebacks happen. And they're not that rare of a thing.
No, definitely not. And especially, actually, it's interesting you say about the comebacks. With 3.14, generally, if you take an inhibitor, it used to be, you take an inhibitor, the buff goes to every minion in the lane. That's going to be a fairly good tip towards who's going to win a game. It gives you a huge advantage. It used to be as well, you take 2 inhibitors, you've got an even better chance, and 3 inhibitors is almost uncomebackable. Anyone team who's got that. However, now, the advantage doesn't go to all minions on the map. It just goes to the minions in the lane with the big minion going in. So, comebacks are more than capable. Like, they're more than a possibility now. They are a reality in this new patch. And something else, though, that can happen is we could see an invade coming out from Numero Uno. They've got that Annie, and she is leading the way.
Mm-hmm. They do definitely go for an invader. They may also very well just be there to place a ward and keep track of early jungler movements, but they are there in full force. 5 members of Numero Uno now in XU's jungle, hanging around that red buff. We do see some recalls starting to come out. Some of those members were there to cover and in case things went wrong, but it does look like Wannabe and JJMC are gonna stick around and potentially try to get away with a sneaky red buff steal. As it stands, XU, they do not know what's going on. They do not have any vision of their own buff, so this might very well be an early steal going over to Numero Uno.
Yeah, they're going for that red buff steal. We might see Nasus picking up that Spirit Fire just to help out Sejuani. At the same time, we're seeing Numero Uno be very ready for a counter red invade, just in case they were spotted out. They haven't been spotted out, though. Kairu on that Aatrox is going to start on blue buff. JJMC going to give a bit of help here to Sejuani. Very nice top laner, very kind of him to do that. And not crucial, though, now to have that duo lane start because of the cooldown on Smite.
This is very interesting. Numero Uno, we do see giving we do see the donation of the red buff over to MC Winegum on that Tristana. They are looking to establish early lane dominance with an early red buff down in that bottom lane. This is very, very interesting to see. They had this all planned out.
This is pretty huge here for Numero Uno. A buff denial towards Kairu, along with the level advantage in favor of MC Winegum. He's going to have about half a level, probably a little bit more there. Just very ready to win a lane here, along with that very aggressive Annie that they're going to have in the lane. Could see a lot of action going down into the spot lane with this red buff. And Kairu, as well, is just so far behind. We're going to have double buffs on Wannabe 1991. And a level advantage in the bot lane. That means that that Wannabe doesn't have to go there because of the huge amount of pressure that's going to be there. And it's going to loosen up a lot of Wannabe's time. He can go and put a lot of pressure onto that top lane. I mean, we haven't really talked about the Nasus Renekton matchup, but certainly in this early stage of the game, it is in favor of Rin on that Renekton, and Rin is a very good Renekton player. We've seen it before. And so that does allow Wannabe to go in there and put in the pressure. Maybe not pick up a kill, but blow a flash. Maybe later on take his ultimate away. Just anything to give JJ that ability to win the lane and become that hyper carry Nasus. At the same time, you can really put a lot of pressure onto that Orianna in the mid lane. Make sure Mr. Left Leg doesn't get too big and become that hyper carry beast of a KO that we're used to seeing. And really, very strong start here from Numero Uno. You cannot let that invade get away with.
Well, they did let it get away with. MC Winegum in that bottom lane now sitting on a red buff. Obviously, we did have a slight pause as the XU's top laner has experienced slight internet problems, but that is lifted by now, and we're certainly gonna keep an eye on that bottom lane because, as you have said, this early advantage for Numero Uno could be potentially very, very huge. If they manage to maybe pick up an early first blood or even burn summoner spells for the jungler to come in and gank and get that first blood done, this might snowball into a very, very favorable game for Numero Uno.
Yeah, and we're seeing that right now. They got the level 2 before the counter lane of Vayne Thresh, and they pushed them onto tower. There's huge amounts of harass here coming out. Annie's doing a lot of damage, and it's just super scary play right now. And this is one of the reasons why Vayne on a red side is generally competitively seen as a weaker pick, because you don't have double golds. Admittedly, now you do have the white to go back to, as we see another pause, for a bit of experience and gold there. But overall, it's not going to be super good being under that tower as a Vayne. And also, you've got to look at summoner spells here. Vayne has Cleanse. Of course, it's very good for getting out of Annie's stun. Nasus Wither, very important. But in this lane, where you have Annie burst and a red buff Tristana, that is where the difficulty will lie. If a fight does kick off, or if a counter gank happens and it goes sour for Chols, really, it's going to be a very scary thing. He doesn't have Lucian. He doesn't have that E to remove slows. He's only running Cleanse and does not have a barrier to keep him alive that little bit longer. Things could be very scary down there for XU's bot lane.
Yes, it's a very well thought out strategy coming out of Numero Uno. They stole away the red buff from XU while simultaneously donating the red buff over to Tristana, and at the same time preventing Wannabe 1991, Kairu from doing a counter steal to get that buff back. We have talked about this for quite a while, as we do see, hopefully the pause will be lifted soon. Still some connection
Rin's
problems.
Just having a bit of problems.
Yeah, a couple of connection problems coming out of Rin. We do hope that they will get resolved quite soon. If we take a look at the chat, it does look like, yep, there it goes. Game has been on pause. So hopefully that will be the last pause that we'll see in this game. We want to get some fluent gaming going here after all. So, going over the matchups, you did mention the Renekton versus Nasus matchup, but on the mid lane we do see Mr. Left Leg going in. We do see Wannabe going in onto Mr. Left Leg, had to burn his flash. So, early strong gank coming out right there. And that's gonna help Gyarados out on his Orianna in that middle lane quite a lot.
Yeah, this is where the game's going to start to get really, really fun now. That flash going down on a not 100% super mobile
Oh, the death sentence lands onto Miss McWingam as Cairo comes in with the Dark Flight. The Silver Bolts will prog. McWingam has to use the Rocket Jump to get away, and now Failaf's going to be the next target. There's damage is going down onto him. Cairo is in pursuit. Will he land those Blades of Torment? Will they be able to pick up the kill right here? Oh, McWingam gets flayed back after Burners Flash. Nice death sentence. Will be the first blood over to XU, and here comes Wannabe 1991. But he is too late. He can do anything. On the contrary, Cairo's just going to jump right in. Possibly get his Bloodwell passive pop, but they will pick up Fairlife here. It's another kill on the bottom lane, and this is just what XU needed.
So well played. That was absolutely incredible. MVP of that situation going to AV on this Thresh. 2 back-to-back beautiful hooks coming out there. First one landing really nicely onto MC Wymgum, just to make that gank all the scarier for him. And then at the very end, the Flay catch out, and then the auto attack into the death sentence, and it was the death sentence connecting that took the first blood and the kill. And that wouldn't have been possible if AV hadn't just been able to, land those back-to-back hooks. So well played there, and a very nice turn to what was an attempted counter gank. Just giving 2 kills straight away over to XU. Wow, that was an amazing series of play, and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why supports carry games.
Yes, indeed, they do. AV certainly coming out big here on this Thresh, and Cairo's Bloodwell was not even popped down there. He did jump in, ready to have it popped to get the opportunity to get that kill. They did get the kill, and he did get to keep his passive, so that's going to be pretty huge as well. Generally, a very, very strong start coming out of XU, despite having the disadvantage in the lane, despite having the McWingam sitting on a red buff. Nice prioritizing there out of Cairo. Focusing on that bottom lane, knowing that they're at a disadvantage. And here we go. 1 kill on both Vayne and Thresh. That is going to turn things right around.
Absolutely, and with the capability we've seen of AV just to land those hooks in the right situation, and now a red buff on him as well, he's going to give all hell over to McWingam here in that bot lane. Fairlife as well. Might be seeing a bit of aggression coming out onto Fairlife if we just pay attention to it, because now that level advantage really will be in favour of AV and Shoals, so they'll be looking for that early level 6 if they can get it, and then they'll be going in. Box, final hour, all of that sort of jazz going in just to pick up a kill, and I think that it might be onto that little girl. Another pause coming out here. We'll just open up the chat and make sure we can have a look. Thresh is having some internet problems as well. Not looking good for XU in terms of latency, but in kills, in map pressure, it's looking very good for them overall.
Yeah, 6 minutes and 23 seconds into the game. They have a kill lead of 2-0. They have a gold lead of 1,000, and additionally in the game, this could potentially snowball into something much, much bigger and very, very scary for NumN0. And that's how it goes. 3 minutes ago, in the pause, we have been praising NumN0 for their brilliant level 1 play, giving the red buff over to McWingam. Fast forward, here we are, XU coming out huge. I think we're in for a very, very exciting and close game.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for the rest of this final. If I wasn't excited before, which I was, I am super excited right now. This is just looking to be incredible. Looking like the pause is going to go off here, and this game is going to get back underway. We are 6 minutes and 25 seconds into the game. It's going to be fairly chilled, I think, for the next couple of seconds. Might see a cheeky gank coming out somewhere, but not a huge amount of action before the buffs start to get turned over. We see the second round of buffs being picked up by the junglers, and then I think we might see a bit of fighting going on and converging onto that dragon. Nearly everyone on the Rift is level 6 right now, a few people behind. I think Fairlife is just the lowest level there, as there's another gank in the bot lane.
Okay, using the Dark Passage to get in there. Blades of Torment not quite landing onto MC Wymgum. They managed to get away from this one.
Yeah, not the amazing skill shots that we were talking about there before, just weren't really enough. There was a bit of a slow build-up between the two teams.
Wannabe 1991 meeting here in the jungle. Wannabe 1991 moving away. The mid laners are going to join the fight as well. There is Oriana ready to intervene should things go wrong. But Cairo does just back away. Not quite willing to start a big fight right there.
Yeah, Wannabe 91 though, he's looking for this blue buff steal. He's really trying to get in there, and here's Mr. Left Leg dropping the ward. You've been seeing Wannabe.
You could just charge through the wall. There's Mr. Left Leg. They know he's there, and Cairo smites it away just to be sure. So that's not going to be a blue buff on that Kale in the middle lane.
No. Ah well, Kale's going to have to go at the disadvantage there, but it did stop the blue buff being lost altogether for the team. Bit of level advantage there for Kairu, even if he was quite low in the jungle, and overall, blue buff is kept on the team. That's what you want, you just don't want to lose those buffs. Especially considering how Kairu's going to be a little bit behind as he lost that red buff really early on. He's just got to make sure that it's all kept in his favour. You don't want to take any form of disadvantage when your team is doing so well. I mean, Rin, as you'd expect of a Renekton, is really doing very well in this top lane. 7 CS lead and a huge amount of bullying coming down onto JJMC. Forced him to back and use his teleport there. In the jungle, despite the early disadvantage for Kairu, he has got more CS now and those 2 assists just to help him out. Mid lane, fairly even, 5 CS difference, but in the bot lane, 10 CS difference, but those kills, the 2 kills that we saw following an amazing series of play, combining the jungler and the support to get the kills over in the right places. Overall, XU just looking to make sure they don't let this lead get away from them, and we're going to be seeing a lot coming out right now from NumN0, trying to make sure they're in this game as much as XU.
Yep, and that is what they're gonna have to do after giving up 2 early kills, as we do see another disconnect coming out, this time from AV. And it is going to be another pause happening here. A little bit of technical difficulty problems for this match. We do apologize for the inconvenience. This is out of our grasp. We will hopefully get this game back on track as soon as possible. Yes.
Indeed. It's the nature of it. There's always technical difficulties in one way or another. I don't think it would be an EGL tournament if there weren't technical difficulties on the server. Let's be honest here.
That's true, though. That's true.
Every weekend. But we overcome it, and we do always get a winner.
We are cursed.
And so, yeah, well, it's just the nature of it. Same old going up and down right now. On the board, everything seeming to be very similar. Stinger being picked up in the mid lane. What's interesting is that Gyarados hasn't actually taken it back yet. He's still sitting on that Doran's ring, whilst Mr. Leftleg has taken it back. It does mean that he has got the CS advantage, but when he does eventually go back and spend all of that 2,200 gold he's currently sat on, he will then, the CS will probably just even out and things will be nice and even there. But that will be a lot of gold. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him picking up maybe a needlessly large rod there, or perhaps rushing the Athenes, picking up the Chalice of Harmony and the Fiendish Codex right nice and early. Here's the back, so we'll find out what's going on there. Meanwhile, though, up and down the lanes, it looks like Kairu is coming back into the bot lane.
Yep, he is. He has certainly been focusing on that bottom lane quite a lot in the past few minutes. So just going to hang around in this Tribrush for now, but it does not look like he'll be able to capitalize on anything, as McWinegum and Phallife are not quite in range for, not even for a nice Dark Passage usage. So he's just going to back away and take care of that new jungle camp. He does move in again, though. He really wants this bottom lane to snowball nicely. There's the death sentence and the Dark Passage immediately in. But Wannabe 1911 also in there. Glacial Prison was used. They do try to dive onto McWinegum. Will he go down here? Yes, Choles picks up that one. And now AV onto Phallife. Flays him back. Choles gotta pick up the double kill here. This is huge. And now they're gonna go onto Wannabe. Kairu getting very, very low. His Blood Bowl was just pop. He's gonna go down. But is it gonna be a triple kill for Choles? He does flash into the brush, trying to juke as best as possible, but he's gonna run into the turret. Choles picking up a triple kill down on the bottom lane, and here comes Gyarados from the middle lane. Intervention is forced off of Mr. Leftleg. There's the ignite. He will be able to pick up the kill, but now Choles goes aggressive onto him, but he's going very, very low. Gyarados will possibly be able to pick up the kill. Choles having to burn his flash. He will get away with his life. Nice turnaround coming out of NumN0, but it's a 2-for-3 trade.
Absolutely huge series of events there. Good roam by the mid laners to come and try and get involved on that fight, but ultimately AV does it again. He managed to show what an amazing Thrash player he is and gets the kills in the right place, and that was 3 kills going over to Choles' Vayne, and this is now looking very scary. Fair enough, McWinegum's Tristana is a bit ahead on CS, but the 4 kills on this Vayne, she is sat on 2,300 gold, just gone back, we might be seeing a BF sword or something similar coming out of her now, maybe the Bilgewater Cutlass. But it's just all looking good for them.
Oh,
here's a dragon going over.
Not even the Bilgewater Cutlass, she just outright buys a Blade of the Rune King. We do see NumN0 pick up the dragon, but we do know the power spike, the immense power spike that a Vayne gets once she purchases that Blade of the Ruined King, and she does have it now. There's only 11 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. 4 out of the 5 kills from XU are sitting on that Vayne, and in the end, that is exactly what you want on a hyper carry like her.
And what's also important is when Wannabe died in that last fight, the kill did go over to Vayne. AV played it very well.
Kairo coming into the top lane. JimMC maybe in a little bit of trouble, has to use Fury of the Sands. Rin jumping in with a slice and dice. The Ignite is down, but they will not quite be able to take him down. Did have to burn both his Ghost and Fury of the Sands. As in the middle lane, we do actually see Gyarados taking down Mr. Left Leg. Sorry about that. We did not quite catch that on camera. I'm just going to blame it on direct camera. But on the bottom lane, and something is happening. Divers was used, and Chills may go very, very low here. McWindham does get the shutdown onto him, and now they're onto AV. There's the rocket jump. Failife in there, blocking off his way. He will try to pick him up, but he does, though, go down to Failife. So that is what the bottom lane needed. That's a kill over, a shutdown over to McWindham. Failife picking up one for himself as well, and they will be able to take down this turret, bringing up the turret score to 1 for 1. After we did see that top lane turret go down in favor of XU.
Yeah, really well played. A good analysis actually there by NumN0. There was a BF sword on Tristana over a Blade the Ruined King on Vayne. Blade the Ruined King on Vayne, of course, is very good. But the BF sword just gave Tristana that little bit of a damage edge, especially with the huge burst of Tibbers. And if you look at it, Charles's cleanse was burned in that little exchange there, and it didn't make that much of a difference. He was able to cleanse off a stun, absolutely very good, but not good enough really to stop it because you don't have the barrier. You're going to die that bit faster, and Tristana with the BF sword meant that she was dealing a load more damage, really crucial for it. And of course the fight went over. That is something you've got to be so scared of with that Annie lane if that BF sword is picked up. Ren going for a bit of a walk here to be met by Wannabe.
Ren getting circled in here, but Kairo is in there as well. Uses the Darkflight Blade of Torment land onto Wannabe, but they're looking to turn this around right there. Intervention is used onto Kairo. Wannabe going very, very low. The Ignite is taking away. He managed to get off the Glacial Prison before he goes down, and now Mr. Leplik is in some trouble. Had, of course, to burn the intervention just now. It's a double kill for Orianna so far, and Rin gets stunned under his own turret. There's the Dark Passage out of AV. Will manage to get him to safety. But it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of NumN0.
NumN0 not going down without a fight here. Really nice rotation into the mid lanes, counter-gank Rin's roam, and that does allow JJMC to take the top tower. The good fight coming out of NumN0 allows them to take the mid outer tower as well, and they're putting a lot of pressure as well onto the mid inner tower. Yep. Tibbers goes down to tank up the tower. Things are looking very good now for NumN0.
We do see the death sentence land onto Failife. Cholt is there to pick up the kill, stuns him against the turret, but there's the rocket jump in from McWindham. He will be looking to pick AV up. He does manage to get the kill. Rocket jumps out again. Will he be able to pick up Cholt as well? Now Gyarados gets that one. Kairo and Rin still onto McWindham, but Kairo will have his blood well popped right here. There's Mr. Left Leg. Rin going very, very low. Kale managed to pick up the Orianna for himself. That's going to be a nice shutdown. It's a double kill. It's going to be a triple kill. Beautiful turnaround. Wannabe 1991 in the crossfire as well. He will not be able to get away. Mr. Left Leg right where he flashes to. It's going to be the quadra kill over to Kale.
Absolutely huge series of events there. Overall, a 4-for-4, I think that became. Absolutely incredible. But this is so scary now. You now have a 5-3 Kale and a 4-2 Vayne. 9 kills on 2 such amazing hyper carries for XU. There's gonna be a lot of fear in the eyes. JJMC trying to defend the tower.
We do see the teleport force out of JJMC trying to save this turret. He's going aggressive onto Mr. Left Leg, but taking a lot of damage in return. He will manage to save the turret, but he will not pick up any kills for it. But he also manages to survive.
Yeah, really close. But this is scary right now. This team... These two teams are going to be so scared of each other, but so desperate to fight. Very close right now. There's, however, a 3k gold lead in favor of NumN0. That will come down mostly to that dragon and a little bit of a CS advantage here coming across the board, most notably in the mid lane on that Orianna. But the carries are fed right now. There's an infinity edge on Tristana. Athene's in a needlessly on Orianna, and pretty soon she'll be able to turn that into a death cap or a Zhonya's or something big like that. And on the other team, 5 kills Kale, 4 kills Vayne. This is a big game right now. There is a lot to look out for. The tanks are getting tanky. The carries are gonna start to carry.
Oh, in the bottom lane, McManaman gets condemned against the wall. Look at the damage coming out. Nice flash over the wall from Chills, but he runs into JJMT in fail life. He's going very, very low, has to retreat, and he will get picked up by McWinegum. Beautiful turnaround coming out of NumN0 here, and now they're going aggressive onto Avi. He is in his turret, tries to flay them away, but it's just too much. He will go down as well. McWinegum picks up the double kill. Huge play.
I can imagine the comms from XU now. Just the call of, why were they there? What are they doing in our jungle? Why are they there? Like, that play right there was so well prepared for by Chols. He was just gonna go in and would have got the kill on McWinegum if the rest of the team hadn't left the back.
Mr. Left Leg trying to deal some damage onto McWinegum. Has to use the intervention though to survive now, but he will go down. It's another kill over to McWinegum. They're now onto the bottom inhibitor turret. Mr. Left Leg will be able to pick up Wannabe 1991, but the fight is still going on. JMC now getting aggressed upon. NumN0 has to retreat. McWinegum gets condemned against the wall. That's going to be a kill over to Chols.
3 for
Rin
3
picks up
again.
Nasus. What a game. This is one hell of a game. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. The shockwave is forced out of Gyrodork, but they're still onto him. Nice fight. Forces the flash out of him. And Joel's going very, very low right there. We'll have to back away. But that dark passage into Flash. Avi, such a good Thresh player.
A very good Thresh player. I would not be surprised to see a Thresh target ban in the next game. He has been terrifying so far. But that passage of events there, with Chols dying, getting caught out in his own jungle by the invade from NumN0, still ended up being a 3 for 3. Chols came back in just in time to pick up the kill onto McWinegum. Double buffs picked up for him, and a nice little handful of gold as well. But this game is still very, very close on kills. The main difference, and the main thing where it's coming out, is on these objectives. And this is what I was saying earlier. The objectives are going to be so key to this game, and right now, that is where it is. The advantage is in favor of NumN0. Bit of a walk into the middle lane here. Mr. Left Leg forced to walk away, but you got to look at the map. 7 towers at 18 minutes in favor of NumN0 right now. They have put such amazing pressure down throughout this game. They have 2 dragons to their advantage as well. It's just so well played.
Oh, the death sentence onto Gyrodork in the middle lane. There's a shockwave is forced out. Look at that!
Whoa.
3 people pulled in. This could be very, very huge for NumN0. They do pick up 2 kills so far. Cairo in the turret will go down as well. His Bloodwell passive is not available. He does go down. Double kill for Tristana so far. Now they jump onto Rin. He's going quite low as well, trying to turn the aggression around. Flashes over the wall, but it's gonna be the ace in favor of NumN0. And all that from a hook out of Avi.
Oh, wow, what is that? That was absolutely incredible. I think we call that a wombo combo.
Yes, pretty
Tibbers,
much.
Shockwave, 3 people in that, and the beauty of the Shockwave was that it brought 3 people under the tower. That was otherwise beautiful, but the follow-up and the return play coming out of NumN0, a 5-0 change in the game right there. And now there is a 10,000 gold advantage in their favor. An inhibitor picked up in the mid lane. The only towers left on the map right now for XU are in their base, defending inhibitors and the Nexus. Such incredible play coming out here of NumN0 to take this game, really put themselves in control of it, and prevent this dive composition of XU from really taking control.
And an inhibitor at 19 minutes into the game. This is usually what you would call a stomp, but this game, I would not call this a stomp. XU, having shown their strength early on in the game, having meant this plays, but NumN0 are coming back from this. They're doing so well. They are making use of their team composition. We did see the beautiful shockwave coming out of Gyrodork in the mid lane, pulling in 3, and his damage just so huge right now. XU are being outclassed here. NumN0 always there at the right time, at the right place. They are making the plays. The map is theirs right now, but we have seen XU. They will not go down without a solid fight.
They are really giving this beans right now. Both of these teams are really proving why they are in the finals. Fighting so well up and down the board. And let's just take this time right now, whilst the teams are, mustering up, pushing towers, relieving a bit of pressure, just to look at the items. 2 Sunfire Capes here for XU. One on both of their tanks, in essence. One on Renekton and one on Aatrox. Very strong items. On the mid lane, though, we have a Nashor's Tooth and a Sheen. A lot of damage that can come out of Mr. Left Leg, but not a huge amount yet.
We may see another run in here as 4 members of XU are inside NumN0's jungle. The Death Sentence did come out, but it did not quite land. They're now gonna go back to this lane, but they cannot push it down. Wannabe, Phallife, and McWingum are there to defend this one from happening. They're just their map pressure, their map presence is just so huge.
It's really very incredible right now. Such a good game from both of these teams, but especially from NumN0. Wannabe goes in.
He does indeed go in, but gets saved by the Dark Passage out of AV. He again proves why he is a solid Thresh player.
Kudos there to Chills, actually. That was some pretty split-second reaction speed. He cleansed that ultimate perfectly. You really wouldn't have seen that there was a Glacial Prism that did hit Chills just because of how quickly the cleanse went off of that. But it means that cleanse is now down for another good short amount of time, and that leaves room for Wither, especially. That's the thing.
Oh, Mr. Left Leg, look at him. He goes low from just one command attack into command dissonance. Orianna's damage so huge at this point, and they are sieging down this bottom inhibitor turret. They are pressuring XU. XU, what will they do? Will they go for the engage? Will they try to risk everything? If they lose this fight, it might very well be the game. Even though respawn timers aren't that high, there's the hook coming out of AV. It does not quite manage to land, but there's the flash! Dark Flight into Cairo. The fight immediately breaks out. Look at that shockwave pulling in 3. The damage is just so huge. Gyarados now in the middle, though, will get taken down right here. It's a little kill so far for Wannabe 1991. And just like that, the fight is over. It's an ace for NumN0. That fight didn't even take 10 seconds, and the surrender coming out of XU. NumN0, such a big game coming out of them. This has been incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I am very, very, very excited to hear what our analyst has to say. Han Solo Q, you have the word.
Yo, oh my god. Another amazing, the games today have been amazing. Great show by every single team here today. Big props to them. NumN0 picking the perfect composition to go against XU. They had the all-in. They have the Nasus, the Sedge, the Annie, the Oriole Trist. Everyone can jump in and disengage. They had the perfect setup. They could all in, and then if they need to, they can come out and poke. They have the Orianna for the poke. They have the Nasus E, and they have the Tristana. It was absolutely amazing play by them. I don't think XU could have done anything to win that game. NumN0 had too much damage. You have the Kale ultimate, yes. You have the Aatrox passive and the Renekton ultimate. That is not enough. NumN0 had too much burst and too much damage. That's why they came out on top.
Very insane game for sure. So we do see NumN0 picking up game uno. Sorry about that. And we will be getting into game 2 of this series very, very soon. More League of Legends is to follow, and if these games are only a fraction as exciting as this one, we are still in for one hell of a game. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. The EGL Summoners Cup number 14 will be right back.